Hello YouTube! This is the Asian Theist here, and I am back. My last Atheist Voice video did fairly well, and so I've decided to do another. If any of you are curious as to why it's taken this long to upload, you may attribute this to personal matters. Anyways, in this video, we will be answering 36 questions I would like to ask God by you-know-who. Let's get started!
Why do you allow suffering?
To quote a philosopher, fire tests gold, just as misfortune brave men.
Why do good, faithful people die in natural disasters?
If you thought that being a Christian meant immunity from adversity, then you thought wrong.
Why would you give innocent children terminal illnesses or genetic deformities?
Pretty much in the same league as the first two.
Seriously, a talking snake?
So God can create the universe with all its vastness and mystery, but you draw the line at a talking snake. Okay.
If you know our fate, then why should we bother with prayer? It's like praying for a movie to have a different ending, even though it's already been written. Seems kind of pointless.
Formalities are common, even today.
Which prayers do you listen to, and which ones do you ignore?
Well, if God knows everything, I would presume he listens to every prayer. As to which ones get answered are a different matter.
How do I know when you're talking to me, or I'm just talking to myself?
If God were talking to you directly, he would likely be willing to give you some direct proof of that, like he did the prophets.
What am I gonna do in heaven? Because an eternity of doing the same thing over and over again doesn't sound like a lot of fun. And I'm pretty sure the things a lot of people want to do over and over again are probably the sort of things you don't allow in heaven in the first place.
If you're expecting heaven to be an amusement park, you may be disappointed. On top of that, since you no longer have a physical body, so to speak, it's reasonable to guess that you probably won't have the same desires as before.
How can you offer unconditional love and threaten people with eternal damnation? Those two things don't seem to go together.
I wouldn't say he's threatening you, it's more like he's warning you.
How could I enjoy heaven if someone I love is burning in hell?
As the Stoics would say, worry less about the things not in your control and focus on what you can control.
Isn't it pretty messed up that a kind, loving atheist and an evil, genocidal maniac would both suffer the same sort of eternal punishment in your eyes?
It would be, if that were actually the case, but I don't buy that view.
Why are your followers so annoying?
That cuts both ways, bud.
Why are your commandments so misguided? I mean, there's just no sense of priority there. You ban worshipping false idols and taking your name in vain, but not slavery or rape.
If you lived in an ancient theocratic government, you might think otherwise. If God is the supreme overall, then properly understanding your true allegiances would actually be number one on your list. Furthermore, rape and slavery could arguably be covered under one of the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not steal. However, even if they weren't, I think we can both agree that they are already so taboo that they wouldn't exactly need a prominent warning.
With all the different religions, not to mention all the different kinds of Christianity, why don't you just settle the question once and for all, instead of speaking through ambiguous messages that can be interpreted in so many different ways?
That's what scholars and historians are for. On top of that, at least some questions are already more clear and settled than others. I did a video on this some time back, link in the description.
If you really wanted our sins to be forgiven, why did you have to kill your son to do it? That's like what the mafia would do.
That's interesting. I didn't know the mafia would kill themselves or their own children in order to forgive others.
Why don't you stop playing hide and seek with us and just show yourself? And for real, not through little kids who visit you in heaven, or through toast.
As far as I'm concerned, he never promised to, he's not obligated to, and most importantly, he doesn't need to.
Seriously, toast?
There are many reasons why someone can come to God, and sometimes they are for the most peculiar scenarios.
Why do you seem to answer the prayers of rich athletes who want to win a game, but not of starving children who are on the brink of death?
I don't think God helps athletes either, so not my concern.
If your word is so inerrant, then how come all religious people seem to think all the other religious people are so wrong?
Because they're human beings.
If fetuses are innocent, shouldn't we be thanking abortion doctors for sending them to heaven?
Why stop at abortion doctors? Why not also mass shooters, terrorists, or genocidal dictators? If you're seeing a problem, then you've answered your own question.
If thou shalt not kill is one of your commandments, then how come Christians love guns so much?
Liking guns and liking murder are not the same things. Also, this commandment refers to murder, not killing per se.
Why won't you heal amputees?
He never promised to, he's not obligated to, and he doesn't need to. On top of that, I don't think any mental health professional would consider it healthy to base your value on certain body parts.
If I'm sick, should I pray to you or go see a doctor?
I fail to see why there must be a dichotomy.
And if I should do both, well, which one would help me more?
I mean, the doctor could be considered the answer to your prayer, so the two could go hand in hand.
Why didn't you hire an editor for the Bible? Because it's long, boring, full of contradictions, and really repetitive.
Someone is clearly applying modern standards to a book written at least 2,000 years ago. I'll leave links in the description as to why that's important.
Why is your last name Dammit?
Are you sure you needed to go to God for this?
Was it hard for your son growing up in the Middle East, being the only white kid in the neighborhood? What do you have against foreskin?
Nothing. It's no longer required as far as I know. On top of that, not every Old Testament character needed to be circumcised. If you want a more thorough take on circumcision and its significance, link is in the description.
How do magnets work?
Once again, are you sure you've exhausted all other options for answering this question?
How come your son supposedly died for my sins, but you brought him back to life? You went back on your word.
I don't recall God saying he had to stay dead. In fact, he even stated that he would come back to life, so what are you talking about?
Why do you get all of the credit, but none of the blame?
'Cause God planned from the start.
Who broke your heart so badly that you have to take out your wrath on women?
Provide examples, otherwise Hitchens' razor.
Why would you create such a vast universe and then only inhabit one planet?
Assuming that's the case, it could be that the universe has its own purpose outside of our existence.
Why are so many people allergic to so many of your creations?
The same reason why there is suffering.
How come our bodies have a sewage system next to an amusement park? I mean, that's just bad design.
Already addressed, link in the description.
How come science keeps proving you wrong?
False premise, also Hitchens' razor. Well, that was easy. Thank you for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to help the channel grow, and tap the bell icon to be notified immediately when the next video is up. In the meantime, this is the Atheist here, signing off.